Kenny Bednarek, there is a reason why the Jamaicans love the 100 meters. It was close, it was exciting. You got the 12 points. How was it for you?
It feels great. I mean, the first time being in Jamaica, so I definitely hear the crowd. They're electrifying, and you know my block starts have gone a lot better this year, but that race didn't really show it. I ended up stumbling, but other than that, a win's a win, and I'm happy to be here.
And the exciting part for you is you love doubling up in the 200 meters, so you must be feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, last year was me kind of trying to figure things out, and I think I finally figured it out this off season, so I'm feeling dangerous this year. And Grand Slam's giving me the opportunity to run a lot more hundreds. That's all I needed last year was just more repetition, and you know, this is going to be a good year.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. 100K a day, and today y'all know exactly what I'm here for. I'm here to rub it in y'all face to tell you, I told you so, about Kenny Bednarek. Kenny Bednarek, the foster kid, the lame, the cornball, the guy that won USA's with a time of 9.79 seconds. He opened the season up Grand Slam track in Kingston, talking about how he got his start together, how he's a hell of a guy, and how he's going to conquer the world this year. After going undefeated in Grand Slam track, kicking butt and taking names while not running against nobody who was actually in shape, everybody made it seem like Kenny Bednarek was the one to watch. He was going to do all these great, amazing things. In the end, the $300,000 that Grand Slam track owed to him was never paid. Grand Slam track is going bankrupt. And at the World Championships, where Kenny Bednarek was supposed to do very well, if you look at his early season, he was a USA champion. He had one of the fastest times in the world for the year. He crashed and burned, just like I told you he would. That's right. Just last week, I released a video telling you guys, do not bet on Kenny Bednarek because he's a cornball. He's a lame, raised by a white foster mom. A single white foster mom has never had a black man in his life to help mold him and guide him. Me being the #1 sports sociologist and the one and only track and field sports sociologist, I knew that when his biggest moment came around and he had the opportunity to prove himself against top of the line competition, he would fail. Now, don't get it twisted. I like Kenny Bednarek because he makes me money. He makes me money because I know he's a loser and I know when he'll do certain things. For example, when he pushed Noah Lyles in the back at the USA trials after he lost the 200 meters to Noah Lyles, that showed me what type of dude he was. He looked like he wanted to cry during his interview. He later on, said that him and Noah Lyles made up. As a matter of fact, after pushing him, he tried to shake Noah Lyles' hand. That told me that he was a cornball and a lame. So that set the ground for the World Championships just this past week. I told you I don't bet on Kenny, but I lied. I went behind your guys' back and bet on Kenny. I didn't bet on Kenny to win the World Championships. No. That would be a plumb dumb move because I know that if I put any real amount of money over $1 on Kenny to win the World Championship and be the world's fastest man, that would be $1 donated to the sports books. What I did, guys, I did a real analysis of who Kenny is. #1, he's a foster kid. #2, he's raised by a white mom. #3, he's a cornball. #4, his brother's a sex offender. Got caught creeping with some young girls a few years ago. And Kenny Bednarek is his twin brother. I knew that Kenny Bednarek would fail. So what did I do? I used all my intellect and I said, what will Kenny do at the World Championships? When I knew that Kenny Bednarek, when I found out that he was in the semifinal with Keishawn Thompson, the Jamaican who had the fastest time in the world for the year, it was at that point that I made a decision that I would then bet on Kenny Bednarek to not only finish in front of Keishawn Thompson, but to win and beat the fastest man of the year in the semifinal. How did I know that? Because when you're a cornball and you're raised by a white mom, you have misplaced anger. Instead of slapping and punching a guy who disrespects you or try to carry you like a lame, when you see he's 6 feet tall, strong, muscles, you'll turn around and find a 5'3" guy to slap and try to embarrass because you are a coward. In the same context, when you see that you're in a race with the world's fastest man, at least the fastest man of the year, you would look at him and you may quiver with fear. But if it's a semifinal and nothing's on the line, at that point, you would choose that moment to shine. I knew this is exactly what Kenny Bednarek would do. So I put him on a parlay. And when I put him on a parlay, he was a plus 450 underdog, meaning all the sports books had him losing this semifinal. Definitely to Keishane Thompson. Keishane Thompson has run 9.75 for the year. Kenny Bednarek had ran 9.79. As a matter of fact, Kenny Bednarek had went to Europe after running 9.79 and only ran 9.96. Keishane Thompson was supposed to beat Kenny Bednarek according to the sports books. I was willing to put my money where my mouth was, put 200. Well, let me put it to you like this. I put 200. Some other clients put more. Some of them put 1,000. Some of them put 2,000. I put $200 on a parlay that mixed Kenny Bednarek with a few other races and a few other finishes to say that this parlay would win. And Kenny Bednarek had to win his semifinal and beat the fastest man of the year in order for the parlay to win. This is what happened. Number one, let me go through the other legs of the parlay first so you guys can understand. First, Amy Hunt against Zoe Hobbs in the 100-meter semifinal. Semifinal number 2. I won that. Amy Hunt finished in front of Zoe Hobbs. Leg number 2, Tara Davis Woodhall had to beat, well, actually, she had to win the long jump. Tara Davis Woodhall won the long jump. Akani Sabine, he had to finish in front of Akeem Blake in the men's first semifinal. He did that. All of those had negative odds, meaning those were all favored to actually win. The only hiccup that I had, potential hiccup that I had, was Kenny Bednarek. According to the sportsbook, of course, 450 plus 450 underdog. Now, something happened during this. The settings were off, and I did not lock in the 450 underdog. So after the wager was placed, it was a $200 wager on this, and it was supposed to pay $37.50. Because of the fact that I did not lock in the settings, by the time the race went off, which was only about 10 minutes after the bet was placed, what ended up happening was the odds moved. Kenny went to plus 175, and the overall wager, the overall odds dropped to plus 875. That means that for every $100 I wagered, I would win about $875 instead of the original odds, which were plus 1851. It would have been for every $100 I bet, $1,851 should have been won. With a $200 wager, that should have been about $3,700 won on this parlay. So the odds dropped. It was a mistake on my part. Won't happen again. So Kenny Bednarek comes along. Let's mind you, he's running against the fastest man of the year, and this is a semifinal. Me being the number one sports sociologist knew that Kenny Bednarek would find a way to shine at the wrong time. Knowing that he was a coward, knowing he's a lame, he would run all out and find a way and make himself win this semifinal race. And he did exactly as I predicted. He beat the fastest man of the year, Keishane Thompson, to the line, running an amazing 9.87 seconds or so. 9.86, 9.87, one of them. Regardless, he found a way to win. Now, a lot of people looked at me as a hypocrite. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just an honest guy. And when I saw who he was lined up with, I made an executive decision to just go ahead and place a bet on him. Because I previously told everybody not to bet on him. But when I saw him lined up in these circumstances, knowing that I'm the number one sports sociologist out there and I'm the only track and field sociologist out there, I knew I had to place this bet. So let me correct myself. He won in 9.85 seconds. Keishane Thompson had the exact same time of 9.85 seconds in the semi. So, of course, as we all know, Kenny Bednarek goes to the finals after beating Keishane Thompson, after having some really nice times in the semifinals. Not only that, let me make sure I'm clear on this. Out of all the semifinal heats, Kenny Bednarek had the number one time from the semifinals. So a lot of people would look at the semifinals and say, wait, this guy just ran the fastest time in all the semifinals. He beat the fastest man of the year. Why not bet on him? Remember, I told you guys last time, do not bet on this guy, a guy with a white mom, a white foster mom at that, in real pressure situations. This was a real pressure situation. In the final, he ended up folding, despite the fact he had the fastest time of the semis, despite the fact he had one of the fastest times of the year with his 9.79, and despite the fact that he had beaten the world leader in the semi, he found a way to fold. Got out the blocks bad, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, and ended up coming home a disappointing fourth in 9.92 seconds. Even let Noah Lyles beat him. Even finishing behind Noah Lyles. So, this wasn't surprising. I was not surprised at all. I knew that he would do something. And I was actually surprised he didn't get no medal. That was the shocking part. But when you think about it, it's really just who he is. So I don't want anybody to ever doubt my analytics again. I don't want anybody to doubt my knowledge, my intellect when it comes to this track and field game. Everybody needs to know I am the #1 sports sociologist. I am the only track and field sports sociologist in the game. And I'm usually right in my assessments. I knew that this coward would perform that way despite the fact that I told everybody not to bet on him. So when I say not to bet on him, I really meant not to bet on him in the finals. And in a situation where there's no pressure, or there's a situation where he can overcompensate, or try to prove himself outside of the finals, I knew there would be his chance to shine. So eventually, this particular parlay was won because of him. So I have him to thank. But, at the same time, he choked in the final. So some people went against my words and went ahead and bet on him. And I got a lot of DMs and people responding to me, telling me, hey, I should listen to you. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, you should have listened to me. You should have only bet on him in the semifinals. Remember, he's a cornball. He's a lame. You can't trust this guy in pressure situations. He did not have a black father in the household with him. If you look at all his pictures, you look at all his family, the only black guy on any picture with him growing up is his twin brother, who is a guy who's been convicted of sex offenses. He is a known sex offender. Bottom line. So I blame Mary Bednarek for this. His fake white mom, she's not even his real mom, didn't give him his genetics, and based on how he performed in the final, I see why his parents gave him up. I would have given him up too, knowing that how he would perform and he would operate and think in the way in which he does. So that's just my assessment. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Did you guys have faith that Kenny Bednarek would come through? Did you guys have faith that Kenny Bednarek would actually live up to his true talent? Or did you guys believe me what I said in my last video about him being a coward and how he was going to fold? Tell me what you guys think. This is Mr. 100K a day. Till next time, y'all. I'm out this piece.